They call me Squirrel.
What's going on there, Squirrel Squadron? How we doing tonight, folks? It's good to see ya. Your boy the Squirrel's back tonight. I got the elaborate secret plan for when the Queen dies. This should be interesting. I really want to know what's going to happen when the Queen passes away. I want to thank Michelle for recommending this video. Appreciate the recommendation. I'm sure this will be a great watch, so let's watch it together and see what we got.
Emergency alarms and bells will go off. TV and radio stations will cut their programs. The stock exchange will close. Sporting events will be scrapped. Newsreaders will dress in black. RAF will be grounded. Parliament will be hastily reconvened. People will go home. The whole country will come to a halt. It will feel no less than a national emergency.
It'll just shut down. Just shut her down. Wow.
And this all will begin with a single code phrase: London Bridge is down. It's been 66 years since the death of a monarch in Britain and accession of a new one. King George VI died in 1952, making Queen Elizabeth II the new queen, and she has been holding
Oh, look how young she is.
the throne since then. At the age of 92, she is not only the longest reigning monarch in the history of Britain, but also the most loved one as well. 3 of the last 4 prime ministers were born after she came to the throne, and most of the living world's population has only seen one queen on the throne for all of their life, which makes her absence an unimaginable thought. As the law of nature dictates, her reign must end with her unfortunate demise sometime in the future, and when this happens, this will mark as the biggest event of the 21st century.
Wow. Just think of the weight of that, the magnitude of that. You know, most of the world's population were born after she took rule. 3 of the 4 last prime ministers, born after that. That's crazy. And this will mark the biggest event. This is going to be probably the next big thing that you're going to know where you were when it happened. That's going to be huge, huge.
Britain will lose the last living link with its former greatness, and the country will use this occasion to revisit its glory once again. The Royal Palace has been preparing for this day since the 1960s under the code name of Operation London Bridge, and there have been meetings several times a year behind closed doors to refine the details.
Since the 60s?
The particulars of this grandest plan had remained a closely kept secret until Sam Knight, a journalist for the Guardian newspaper, interviewed dozens of people involved with a promise of confidentiality.
So we now know what the plan is. Okay.
Everything down to the last minute is carefully planned to give Queen Elizabeth a farewell, the kind of which the world has never seen, and most probably will never see again. So watch till the end of the video and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. In her final hours, the Queen will be with her family and a team of doctors led by the Queen's senior doctor, Professor Hugh Thomas. He'll constantly monitor her health and also consider what information should be made public.
I've never seen the name Hugh spelt like that. I've always seen H-U-G-H. That's an interesting way to spell it. Just wanted to point that out.
People will be notified about the Queen's health at a regular interval until the last bulletin, which may read something like this.
The King's life is moving peacefully towards its close.
As it happened in the case of George V. George V's doctor then injected him with 750 milligrams of morphine and a gram of cocaine, enough to kill him twice over.
The morphine would do it, right? I'm not sure what the cocaine's for. I guess it's like, hey, one last party on your way out. Seriously, a gram of cocaine. I don't get that, but whatever.
Primarily to ease the monarch's suffering and give him a peaceful, quick death in time for printing presses of the times, which rolled at midnight. It's expected the Queen's doctor will do the same.
Who's her doctor? Dr. Kevorkian? What? That's crazy. I guess it's something, if you agree to it ahead of time, whatever, stop the suffering, all that, but wow, that's crazy to me that they would just, it's time.
The moment the Queen closes her eyes, Charles will be the new king. The first official to get the news of the Queen's demise will be the Queen's private secretary, Edward Young. He will then pass on the information via a secure phone line to the Prime Minister, Theresa May. The demise of George VI was conveyed in a code word Hyde Park Corner to prevent switchboard operators from finding out. The civil servants are expected to use the code word London Bridge is down to convey the message. The Foreign Office's Global Response Center, based at a secret location in London, will communicate the news to the 15 governments outside the UK where the Queen is also the head of state, and the 36 other nations of the Commonwealth for whom she has served as a symbolic figurehead.
All these people that I had no idea were under the rule of the Queen until I watched the difference between the UK, Britain, and Great Britain. And that's when I found out about all these other countries. You gotta let all of them know now. Well, not now.
The governors generals, ambassadors, prime ministers, and other important people in the country, as well as those abroad, will be informed first through secure lines, and it may take anywhere from some minutes to a few hours before the news is made public and the rest of the world come to know about the demise of their beloved Queen. The Press Association News Agency and all other global newswire services will be informed simultaneously. As a formal announcement, a footman in mourning clothes will emerge and post a black-edged notice to the gates of Buckingham Palace detailing a 10-day mourning period that will commence. At the same time, the palace website will be transformed into a single page showing the same notice on a dark background.
Huh. That's, wow. I mean, when it started the video out saying, basically the whole country shuts down, this is it. It's shut down. Here's your notice, here's what's happening. And, wow. I mean, it's literally like we're the whole country is going to go through this together. I find that really cool. I do. I find it cool that they prepare it so that it's an experience that everyone experiences together to honor this great leader. I'm assuming is what we're leading to. I mean, it seems like that's the pieces they're putting together to do that. That's unbelievable.
At BBC, a Cold War-era alert system called RATS, short for Radio Alert Transmission System, will be activated. Reporters and anchors have been rehearsing the death of the Queen for over 30 years, substituting the name Mrs. Robinson. For many years, they have performed mock storylines about the Queen Mother choking on a fishbone. These rehearsals will be immediately put into action.
If she actually chokes on a fishbone, and that's how she passes, these guys are going to feel really bad about it, I think. But I just want to also just comment real quick and make note that nothing this elaborate happens if a president dies over here in my country. I mean, they do some, there's definitely some, it's important, very important. But so far, the way this is laid out, it seems like this is a much bigger deal to me. And it should be. It's royalty. So it is different. We elect officials. This is the Queen that's been there since, I think they said 1952, right? I mean, it's royalty. It's different. I don't know. Man.
BBC 1, 2, and 4 will be interrupted. Programs will stop, and after a pause, news will be broadcasted on all of them together. The newsreaders will be wearing black suits and black ties as they inform the world of this unfortunate event in a depressed voice. This news will be repeated several times, with silent breaks in between, after which BBC may go completely silent for a few hours.
In a depressed voice, which makes me realize that that's how they've rehearsed it, is in a depressed voice. So, like, they're even rehearsing and being ready for the sound that how the sound is gonna come out when they report the news.
There is a network of blue lights called obit lights installed at Britain's commercial radio stations. They are supposed to be activated in the event of a national catastrophe and are tested once a week. When the news of the Queen's demise breaks, these lights will start flashing to alert the DJs to switch to the news in a few minutes and play inoffensive music in the meantime. There is already a prepared list of music made up of 2 categories of sad and saddest songs available at every radio station to reach for in times of sudden mourning. Online media outlets and newspapers already have news stories about the Queen's death.
I've heard this before. I think it was when Michael Jackson passed away. I remember like the news broke that Michael Jackson had died, and then like it was not long later, the news came on TV, and there was like this big elaborate like 10-minute piece about his life, and it was just this long news story, and I thought, man, how the hell did they put this story together so fast with all this footage and it's so well edited? How did they do that? And then I found out that the news stations prepare the stories and update them as necessary to keep it current, so that when the person dies, they just have to put the ending in. Right?
Lengthy obituaries and articles lined up to publish at a moment's notice.
Obituary already written.
Major
Everything's
news
done.
organizations like The Guardian and Times are said to have had as much as 10 to 12 days of coverage ready to go.
Wow.
Experts on royal matters have already signed contracts with media houses to speak exclusively on those channels. For those who will be in the air, aircraft pilots will announce the news to them, and social media will do the rest of the work. Great Tom at St. Paul's is expected to ring every minute for several hours, while some others will sound for times equal to the Queen's age at her demise. This will be the beginning of 10 days of sorrow and spectacle, which are officially numbered as D-Day, D+1, D+2, and so on until D+9.
Wow.
The 18th Duke of Norfolk will be in charge, and Lord Chamberlain's office in the palace will be the center of operations.
I'll look it up afterwards. You don't have to tell me. I'll figure it out myself, I think. But I'm just wondering why this guy is he. So like, I try to equate everything to what I'm used to. So, royal family, you get the Queen in charge. Is he kind of like what would be the equivalent of like a vice president in a country like mine that has a president, a vice president, and all that? Just wondering. Or the Secretary of State maybe, or I just don't know. I don't know who this guy is, and he's obviously the 18th Duke of Norfolk. I just didn't know. That seems pretty important, so. Okay.
Both houses of parliament will be called within hours of the monarch's death. People will go home early. News crews will assemble on a pre-agreed site outside the palace. They've got a confidential instruction book a couple of inches thick, with every detail of what to do and what not to do. TV schedules for all coming days will be changed. Comedy shows will be restricted on BBC, and satire will go completely off air. The National Theatre will close.
So they really want people to not be distracted and really absorb what's going on and have proper opportunity to mourn the Queen, who is very well respected. Now, I'm sure, guess when the moments we're about to say something, I'm thinking to myself, boy, here come the comments. That's fine. That's fine. I'm sure there's people who don't like the Queen or the royal family for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know enough about it, but I'm sure there are. But it seems to me, that the Queen is very well respected by most. By interactions I've had with folks, that I've actually had conversation with, it seems that she's a very, very well respected and held in very high esteem. More so, I mean, than like, again, I equate it to like our president. Every president is hated by half the country and loved by the other half, Some of it's more sensationalized in the media, but it's pretty much the same for all of them, I look back at the presidents that have been here since I've been, remembering presidents, and there's very few that have an off balance of about equal split. It's my opinion that the people who approve of and like the Queen and respect the Queen or even love the Queen is much higher percentage than 50-50. And the people who don't like the royal family, who I've not come across in them yet, but I know that they're out there because there's always someone who doesn't like somebody, you know. I would think it's a much lower percentage than a 50-50 split. So that's just through my dealings and talking with people. I'll be quiet now and let's watch the video because that's what we're here to do.
If the news breaks before 4 p.m. If there's a test match at Lord's, it'll be scrapped. The Marylebone Cricket Club already holds insurance for that matter.
Insurance.
Rugby and hockey fixtures will be called off too, while football matches may go ahead. Big screens will be erected in provincial cities so crowds can follow events taking place in London. Mayors across the country will mask their decorations with black flags. Messages will pour in from presidents and parliaments from all over the world. Many nations are expected to announce a several-week mourning period for the Queen. Around 10,000 tickets will be sent for printing for invited guests, the first of which will be required for the proclamation of the new king. Dignitaries coming from European royal families will be put...
The new king, Prince Charles. Opinions? Anybody want to give me their opinion of Prince Charles? I just want to know how you folks think of Prince Charles. Just wondering. No biggie. Just wondering what's the, you know, what if you're sticking your toe in the water there, what's the temperature like for Charles taking over as the king over in your country? Let me know.
Up at the palace. The rest will stay at the Claridge's Hotel.
They even have hotel accommodations ready. Wow.
The days that follow the announcement, the Royal Mint will begin producing new coins with the new monarch's image on them for issue upon accession. Despite the plethora of plannings, everything will have to be signed off by the new king and the Duke of Norfolk.
There's the Duke again.
The demise of the Queen will also be the moment of accession for a new monarch. Both of these things will go hand in hand. There'll be diplomatic assembling in London, not seen much since the death of Winston Churchill in 1965. Both houses will gather MPs and swear the oath of allegiance to the new sovereign. In the House of the Lords, the two thrones will be replaced.
Look at that. I almost said, imagine if that's real gold. Instead, I'm going to say, I wonder if that's real gold. Wow. It's quite impressive. That whole room is impressive. The architecture. Ah, it's beautiful. I love old, beautiful buildings like this. I'm looking at the picture of the room and realizing this thing looks awesome. And then there's goofy ass TV monitor up on the wall. Still beautiful.
Placed by a single chair, and in the evening, Charles will make his first address as the head of state. At the same time, the Queen's body will be prepared to be kept in the throne room. The coffin lid must have a false lid to hold the crown jewels, with a rim at least 3 inches high. Everything will be pre-calculated and perfectly planned. But what if the Queen dies abroad, or when she is in other parts of the country? There's nothing to be foreseen. In case of the Queen dying overseas, a jet aircraft from RAF's number 32 Squadron, known as the Royal Flight, will take off from the western ledge of London to bring her back, with a coffin on board. A first call coffin is always kept ready by royal undertakers in case of royal emergencies. If she dies at Windsor Castle or Sandringham House, the coffin would be moved by car to Buckingham Palace within a couple of days. The most elaborate plans are for what happens if she passes away in Scotland, where she spends 3 months of the year. This will initiate a complicated series of Scottish rituals in different cathedrals, at the end of which the coffin would be transported to Waverley Station and then taken by the royal train to London.
Now, it says she spends 3 months a year in Scotland. Is that 3 months in a row? Like, is it like a 3-month vacation? Or does she go there for like 2 weeks and then another month and a half, another 2 weeks? Or I'm just wondering. It's a long time to spend outside. And again, totally different layout. I was going to say outside of your country, but Scotland's part of the UK, part of the Crown. So just a different region, I suppose, of what she's in charge of what she rules. But I was wondering. I just assumed she always kind of stayed, with the exception of like obviously important meetings, things like that. But 3-month vacation, wow, that's pretty cool. Well, I don't know if it's vacation. I don't know if they actually said vacation, but you know what I mean. 3 months away out of England.
People will line up to meet their queen at railway stations and throw flowers. A second train will run behind the first one to clear flowers and debris off the railway
I
tracks.
was gonna say to pick up
In
the flowers.
every
Yeah.
scenario, the queen's body returns to the throne room in Buckingham Palace. On D1, the day after the queen's demise, the flags will go back up, and at 11 a.m., Charles will be proclaimed the king in the entree room of St. James Palace. He will carry out the first official duties of his reign by swearing to protect the church in Scotland. The national anthem will be played on drums wrapped in black cloth, and trumpeters from the lifeguards will step outside to give 3 blasts. The proclamations will only just be getting started. Britain will be getting a new king for the first time in 66 years,
King
and the
Charles.
world will be watching. This will be the time Britain will show its lost glory one more time. There will be no fleet of bulletproof limousines and fancy cars on the streets. Rather, there will be horses, carriages, and men wearing cocked hats everywhere.
Tradition.
A group of men, dressed up as characters of some Shakespeare drama, will go by carriage to the statue of Charles I and read out the news again. A 41-gun salute will be fired from Hyde Park. Heralds with trumpets will then go around spreading the news around the country. High sheriffs will stand on steps of town halls to announce the new sovereign as per local customs.
Wow.
People will be capturing a glimpse of the might of the British Empire in their latest smartphones. Things will be very new to everyone, even for the ones doing it. This will be the time for Charles to go out and meet his people. A 4-nation tour by the new king will immediately kick off. He'll stop by places to attend services for remembrance of his mother and meet the leaders of the nation. Lots of it will be done walking around and not by being in a car.
Something I keep forgetting to consider the fact that he's not just taking over a position, he's replacing his mother, which is a whole different dynamic.
On D4, that is, the 5th day of the Queen's demise, her coffin will be taken from the throne room in Buckingham Palace to Westminster Hall to lie in state for public viewing for 4 full days. The procession from Buckingham Palace will be a huge military parade expected to accommodate 1 million people on the streets of London. It's planned that the parade reaches Westminster Hall just on the hour so that the Big Ben starts to chime as the wheels come to a stop.
Wow, that's
King
some
Charles
good planning.
will be the first of an expected 500,000 mourners who will pay homage to their beloved queen. A wondrous queue, at least 9 kilometers long, equipped with canteens, portable toilets, and police, will stream past the queen for 23 hours a day.
They planned this out so well that they got 9 kilometers of canteens and portable toilets to accommodate the folks in line. Ah, that's impressive.
4 soldiers will stand vigil for 20 minutes at a time, with 2 ready in reserve. The most senior of the 4 will stand at the foot of the coffin, while the most junior at the head. An exact replica of the hall will be set up somewhere nearby, so soldiers can practice their movement before they go on duty.
Wow.
The Queen's children and...
Imagine that. There's like a whole nother room that is an exact replica so that just so they can practice. That's how perfect everything has to be. So much tradition. That's really what it is. I'm awestruck by the tradition and the amount of respect.
Grandchildren, including women for the first time, will arrive unannounced and stand vigil over their coffin as per tradition. The night before the funeral, there will have been church services in towns across the UK. Football stadiums will be open for memorial services if necessary. Before the dawn on D9, the funeral day, the jewels will be taken off the coffin and cleaned in the silent hall. It'll be the day of great sorrow. People will wake up to a day off. The stock market will not open. Shops will close or go to bank holiday hours, and people will display the picture of the Queen in their windows.
The whole country's on just. I mean, she, God forbid, she passes before Corona's over. That's not going to be that hard because everything's already shut down for the most part, anyways. But that's pretty impressive.
At 9 a.m., Big Ben will strike. The bell's hammer will then be covered with a leather pad, and it will ring out in muffled tones. Queen Elizabeth II will be the first British monarch to have her funeral in the Westminster Abbey since George II in 1760. At 11 o'clock, the coffin will arrive at the Abbey doors. The country will fall silent. The clatter will stop, train stations will cease announcements, buses will stop, drivers will get out at the side of the road, RAF will be grounded, and time will come to a halt. The Archbishop will speak inside the Abbey with 2,000 guests sitting. Broadcasters will refrain from showing royal faces. When the coffin emerges again, it'll be placed on the green gun carrier and hauled by one.
Another respect thing. Don't broadcast the royal faces as they're in mourning. Have respect for them. You know, that's one thing that I think that the media really sucks at, is having any kind of respect for anyone. You know, something happens and someone's in deep grief, and you know, the first thing they do is shove a camera right up their fucking ass and broadcast them all out to the world. And I see that sometimes, and I just like, man, how can you stand there and video this? This person's such deep grief and mourning. It's all about getting the big scoop, you know? But the media can be horrible, wretched people sometimes.
138 junior sailors of the Royal Navy. From Hyde Park Corner, the hearse will go 23 miles by road to Windsor Castle, where the Queen's body will be buried. The royal household will be waiting for their Queen standing on the grass. The coffin will go inside, the cloister gates will close, and cameras will stop broadcasting.
Wow.
This will be the end of an era. This will be the start of a turbulence. The royalty will never be the same again.
Wow. Folks, go check out Side Note. Cool channel that put that together, the elaborate secret plan for when the Queen dies. That's pretty well laid out. I mean, they've really thought through, looks like, every little detail and every little thing. I want to remind the people that are first-time viewers here that if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do so. Make sure you ring the notification bell so you know when I come out with some more videos that we can share together. I once again want to thank Michelle for recommending this video. That was one hell of a video. Impressive. That's really, I mean, I'm going to be pretty impressed to see all that happen when it does happen, but obviously you don't want it to happen. But it's eventually going to, but you hope it's longer than not. Well, folks, I sure did learn a lot there, and I really enjoyed learning that with you. I hope you enjoyed it as well, and I hope you learned something. So I'll talk to you soon. Until next time, squirrel out.